Hi there, Cosmic Family. My name is Jehliali in this incarnation, and I am here today to talk about the full moon in Aries that we are going to have on September 29th. So this full moon is going to be in the degree 6. And I won't lie, we are entering in a very powerful, intense, shaky period of time. We've already started the eclipse season, and this full moon have a lot of aspects of transformation and ego death. So let's get in here. Aries is an energy, a masculine energy of fire, and we are talking about the sacred spark of spirit. This is an energy that opens path with vital force. This is an energy of action and independence. In fact, the moment where the baby goes through the birth canal is a very Aryan moment. So the same way we are opening the path for ourselves to express our individuality in the role that we came here to occupy. The regent of Mars, the regent of Aries is Mars, and Mars is the warrior. The archetype of warrior is very linked with Aries, and we are understanding with the spiritual evolution that the warrior doesn't need, to fight with something outside. We are not warriors of light fighting with darkness. I think we are understanding right now how the warrior has to defeat his or her own demons in order for the leader to emerge. The leader is another archetype that is very linked with Aries. So this full moon is a closure of a cycle of 6 months, and in every full moon we are having the sun on the opposite sign, in this case in Libra. So there's something very important here, because Mars, which is the regent, I already explained this, is in the degree 21 of Libra. And let's stop here. I'm going to show the chart on the screen, because this degree is the one that is going to be activated on the next solar eclipse in Libra that we are going to have on October 14th. So let's remember that these mathematical points, the North nodes or lunar nodes, are the ones that are activated in every eclipse. So right now we're having the North node in Aries and the South node in Libra. So Mars is going to be in a conjunction with the South node and in an opposition with the North node and with Chiron in retrograde in Aries. So at the same time, Mars is doing this square with Pluto retrograde in Capricorn. So Mars is activating a lot of aspects of tension. And at the same time, I already explained this in other videos, Pluto is making this square with the karma nodes. So how this could be traduced on our lives? Well, I think here it's very important with the energy of Aries to learn to express ourselves the way we are, to express our emotional needs too, to communicate them with assertiveness, and to occupy the role that we came here to occupy. So the regent here is telling us in Libra, the high frequency of Mars in Libra is about conceal. This Mars wants to take action in order to equilibrate energies with the others. This Mars wants justice for the parts that are participating of the relationship, and we are not talking about relationships of a couple of love, of that kind of love. We are talking about every relationship with another human being. So this Mars wants to is a mediator. So here there's something very important, because it is in a conjunction with the South node. This Mars in the lowest frequency can put aside their own needs, its own desires, in order to not make other people uncomfortable, or in order to sustain relationships that can actually not co-create in evolution with us. So it's very important to detect this, because with the opposition with Chiron in Aries and the square with Pluto in Capricorn, here many things could be activated, all wounds, fears, insecurities, old programming that was still there, that is causing a lot of pain inside of us, and others could activate these old wounds, the fear of rejection, the wound of rejection. So we are going to have to learn to express ourselves no matter what, if others are going to judge us or whatever thing. We have to put aside our own fears, or to transcend them, or to embrace them, in order to express the way we are. And the square between Mars in Libra and Pluto in Capricorn is showing us where we are giving our power away, and to which situations or people or thoughts or attachments we are giving our power, and that is draining our vital force, actually. So that is a self-destructive behavior. So we are going to have to recognize those things, to transcend them, to embrace them, to integrate them. And in many cases, others will activate these wounds and this old programming. So it's very important to take accountability of this, because if we are not willing to recognize our own imbalances that others are activating, then projection can occur, and situations could be very conflictive and aggressive in a certain way. Let's remember that we should never stay in a situation where somebody else is crossing our healthy boundaries, or in a verbally or physical way, or or treating us in a violent way. But what I'm trying to say is that the energy of Aries is very linked with anger. So if we are not channeling that anger correctly, then projection can occur. And in this case, anger is showing us where it hurts, where it still hurts. Chiron retrograde in Aries. So I think something that is going to help here, let's talk about this, is this sextile with Venus in Leo. Venus in Leo is in a sextile with Mars in Libra, and this is a fluid aspect, because these are the archetype of the cosmic lovers. This is the polarity, the feminine polarity, and the masculine polarity, which is Mars. And this is enabling in a certain way that we can a point of union with other people, or maybe a way to recalibrate ourselves, rebalance ourselves from the inside. Let's remember that every relationship is actually showing us everything that we are sustaining from the inside, in our own relationship with ourselves. So something very important here is that Venus in Leo is doing the third square this day with Uranus in Taurus. And this is a cycle. I'm going to do another video talking about this, but this is a cycle that is closing, that started in June. I already explained this. And this Venus with this third square is very clear which one is our desire, because many times we think we wish certain things, and those desires are imposed by our families, by the society. So here Venus in Leo wants to wants revolution, and here we are discovering the most authentic self, and the way we want to express ourselves in our light, and how important it is to recognize our own talents, and to see ourselves. Because every time that we are looking for recognition or to be seen on the outside, from this lack of self-love, many times that leads to a painful situation, and this, of course, is part of the healing process too. We all been there. So Venus here wants revolution, wants to break out with old impositions, and wants to express in the most authentic way. So I think this is something that is collaborating with this energy of Aries. And so I think things that are very important here with the square between Mars and Pluto, control and manipulation and power battles could be activating. So it's very important to recognize this kind of attitudes, to transcend them. This is all about to be very honest with ourselves. And on the other hand, it's very important to communicate our own emotional needs, to express our needs, and at the same time to learn to conceal with other people in disagreement, because the problem here is not conflict. The problem here is the way we are addressing conflict, and the way we are channeling our anger. In anger is an emotion that is being very rejected by ourselves, by the society, and many of us didn't know how to channel this emotion. So this is the emotion that can actually give us an impulse of resilience, and many times this is an emotion that can give us the force to to put the energy in our own path. And this is the emotion that is showing us where it hurts, how I said before. And this is the emotion that is telling us where it's very important to put a healthy boundary. This is the emotion that is telling us that maybe we've been sustaining, we've been putting aside our own needs, our own desires, our own things that are important for us in order to sustain relationships. So if we've been doing that and we are not able to recognize that, well, these things are going to explode during this full moon. I'm going to be honest. So again, it's very important to be willing to be honest and to recognize the imbalances that others are activating in us. And on the other hand, to not be responsible for others' imbalances. This is very, very key too. So at last, I wanted to leave this reflection, because some time ago, I did a video talking about how the ego, when it's disconnected, it's always against something, wants to fight against things, people, situations. And actually our self is an energy that is always focused on creation. So I think it's very important to understand this. I'm going to put the same example that I did in that video, because if we are, for example, fighting with wars, we are fighting against wars, that has no sense at all. We are putting the same energy of destruction. We are putting the same energy of against something, which are mainly the essence of the wars. And at the same time, if we are aligned to the soul moral, the moral is something very, very Libra. We cannot support wars. I particularly cannot support wars. And I don't think that wars are aligned with the new consciousness that is descending to this planet. But we cannot support that. We cannot fight against that. But what we can do is to put too much, all the force in our own path, all the vital force in develop our potential of the soul. We can put the energy on expressing our own light, which is Venus in Leo. And if that creates a disruptive change, which is Uranus in Taurus on the material plane, then this is marvelous. And I think this is the way we are going to, create new paths, new conducts to this new energy. And that certainly will break with a lot of things of the old paradigm, old systems, because they will not be able to coexist at the same time. So I think this is the way we are going to change actually things. And I think that wars will going to be dissolved when all the people stop battle their own so-called, stop battle with their own self, and start to surrender to love, to creation, and to do their own labor and descend light to this plane. So okay, I'm going to leave the video here. Thank you everyone. See you in the next one. Ciao ciao.